1, 2, 3.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
9, 10, 11,
12, 13, 14,
15,
16, 17,
18.
19.
You're watching Brain Gainz.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. It is April 2019, and this is Brain Gainz, the show brought to you live from Bodybuilding.com headquarters. My name is Tyler. This is my good friend Alec. How you doing, man?
Doing well, man. I think it's our birthday, if I remember.
That's
correctly.
right, our 20th birthday. Yeah, happy birthday to us.
And literally me last week.
Oh, hey, there you go.
So
it's happy birthday to us, and also happy birthday to you, the viewers, because we have a special giveaway for you. Tell them about it.
Well, if you look to my left here, we have a tub of our birthday cake protein and a box of our birthday cake bars, as well as a plethora of apparel. So today we're going to be giving away a 10 stacks of a tub of protein, box of bars, and your choice of 2 items from our $19.99 apparel.
And you get to choose them too. So there's going to be a survey link that's posted in the comments, in the description for the video. Follow the link to that survey. We're going to give you a password here in a little bit, like we've done in the past. And then as a part of that survey, you'll be able to choose which pieces of apparel you want if you are the winner. So pretty exciting. Stay tuned. We're going to drop that password and you can enter to win some cool stuff. So anyway, thank you so much everyone for being here. We're very excited. As always, this is a live show, which means if you have any questions about what we're talking about, please feel free to drop those in chat and we can answer those for you. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Absolutely. And what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about pre-workouts. So we kind of have a running thing here that there's a couple of topics that people generally really like to learn about, mostly because there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of good information around them, but it's hard to kind of decipher what is best and what works for you. And so we like to talk about pre-workouts quite a bit because we end up getting a lot of questions about it in return. So today we're going to talk about pre-workouts, kind of what ingredients you're going to see in them a lot, some of the misconceptions about pre-workouts, and hopefully by the end you can make some good, solid, educated decisions about how you want to go about that. So yeah, if you have questions about those, please feel free to drop those in chat. We've got moderators looking for good questions, and then we'll follow up with you live here. So yeah, let's dive right in. So Alec, do you remember what was the first pre-workout you ever had? What was your first scoop?
My first scoop. Well, I remember my first scoop. So it was, what year was it? 2007. Cytosport Fast Twitch.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's in Cytosport Fast Twitch?
That's a good question.
So long ago.
Yeah, I was like a sophomore in high school. A buddy took it, and I was like, oh, let's try it. And I just know that I had Spanish the period after weights in high school, and if I didn't lift hard enough, I was muy annoying.
Yeah, nice.
So
mine was definitely No Xplode, circa 2004. I don't know if you guys remember No Xplode. It was fizzy, so that was very exciting. But that was the first time I had ever taken anything with beta-alanine in it. And if you guys know beta-alanine, we'll talk about that a little bit more in a little bit. But it gives you the tingles. And so, you'd take it and you'd start like feeling the power, and it was very exciting, especially for someone who was just in high school. So anyway, that's just kind of a callback. But anyway, we've come a long way since then. Obviously, it was, a little bit of beta-alanine, but it was mostly based on caffeine, sometimes leucine, and then some other ingredients that we might not see as much anymore. We saw kind of a whole transition to brands focusing on
little scoops,
very small concentrated scoops. I think people remember Jacked or Jack 3D. And it was like this little 3-gram stim bomb. Like I remember just, man, you were really feeling the burn after that one. Yeah. And then today, if you look at some of the products that we sell on site, we've definitely kind of shifted the meta when it comes to pre-workouts, and now we're seeing much bigger scoops, much more fully dosed, and a lot newer, more advanced ingredients in those as well. So we're going to talk about some of those today. And again, if you have questions about what we're talking about, or if there's an ingredient that you don't don't know or want to learn more about, please feel free to drop that in chat, and we'll do our best. So let's talk about it. What makes a pre-workout work? So like, why do you take a pre-workout?
One, I lift at like 5:30 in the morning,
Right.
so that's a big deal. Two, thankfully, working where we do, having the knowledge that we do in terms of what goes into a pre-workout. The goal in my mind is always performance and just increasing workload on a weekly basis. So usually ingredients are kind of more tuned towards performance and I would say, long-term acuity.
That's right. Long-term acuity. That's a fun word. All right, great, awesome. So yeah, understanding why you're taking a pre-workout is really important. We know that pre-workouts may help you in the moment of the exercise. They may help you over time get better gains or better results over long periods of exercising. But in the end, it's still really important that you be exercising, also have a good diet as well. And so please make sure when you're taking a pre-workout, you're not taking it with the expectation that this product is going to by itself make you get shredded or super strong or anything like that. It is a complement to the exercise and nutrition plan that you're already on. So just wanted to lay that baseline. But first, definitely one of the most popular ingredients when it comes to pre-workouts are the stimulants, caffeine. We see Teacrine, we see Theobromine, and we have a couple more that we see sometimes that are a little bit kind of more on the fringe, but Stims are definitely one of the most important part, or one of people's favorite parts of pre-workouts. And so how much caffeine should you be looking for? We see beginner pre-workouts, some that are a little more focused on people who have never had them before. Then we have more advanced pre-workouts, some that give you more caffeine. But like, where's the line? What should I be looking for? So the comparison that I always like to make is comparing a pre-workout to a cup of coffee. And then people generally know how that makes you feel, and then we can do multiplication from there to see how much caffeine you're normally used to taking. So there are pre-workouts that have kind of on the low end, and low end for pre-workouts is generally around 150, 175 milligrams of caffeine. And when we look at a cup of coffee, depending on the roast, it's anywhere from 80 to 100 milligrams of caffeine. So already even with the low end of pre-workouts,
It's a cup and a half.
It's a cup and a half to 2 cups of coffee. So already you're getting plenty of caffeine from there. And so if you've never had a pre-workout before, that might be a really good place to start. Caffeine and the other stimulants are definitely one of the very few places in a pre-workout where taking too much is very easy, and it can actually lead to some pretty interesting and serious adverse events. So be aware of how much caffeine you're used to taking, how much you can and how much your body can handle. Everyone's different. There's no steadfast rule as far as what will help and what will be good for you, what will be bad for you. Because caffeine also is something that your body can become sensitized to, so that number can actually change over time as well. So we talked about beginner pre-workouts, about 150, 175, and then we move into the more advanced kind of premium pre-workouts. You talk about the cages and the gyms and the diamatized pre-woes and all those, and they all sit right around 300 milligrams, which is obviously significantly more, almost double of some of those lower level pre-workouts, more than triple of a cup of coffee. So it's a lot of caffeine. So I would make sure if you want to jump into those higher level pre-workouts that you're ready for that much caffeine, because some of the other ingredients are dosed correctly and you won't feel them quite as much, but man, that caffeine hits you like a ton of bricks. It's really crazy. So like, what do you think about caffeine? Where do you sit? How do you like it? How do you go about recommending it? Tell me a little bit about that.
So I think like something you brought up is know your tolerance prior to trying a pre-workout. If you're pretty green in terms of stimulant consumption, yeah, shooting for a pre-workout that happens to have right around 200 milligrams is probably a good idea. Or frankly, if you see a product that has 300 that you're interested in trying, maybe try like a 3/4 of a scoop or something like that. But for myself, I'm right around that for a pre-workout, probably about 3 to 350 for myself. Again, that depends on what I'm doing that day. It's as silly as it sounds, but if I'm hitting legs, I'm probably gonna have a little higher caffeine just because it's a big group and you just want to kind of get after it. But I know that a lot of data has quite a bit when it comes down to that 300 to 400 milligrams, or it's based upon milligram per kilogram.
That's right. So so the data on caffeine is based on your weight. And they generally find positive results anywhere from 3 to 6 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. So, I'm about 100 kilograms right now, so that means that I should be taking anywhere from 3 to 600 milligrams of caffeine. Now, 600 milligrams is way beyond what I would consider a normal dose. I have trouble taking 300 sometimes just because I'm a little bit easier on the caffeine than my friend Alec here. That kind of brings up an important question. Pre-workout is not the only caffeine a person consumes throughout the day. are there any rules? Are there any regulations? Are there any, where's the limit there?
Okay. So the FDA has kind of made a little bit of a stance in terms of right around 400 mgs, what you should consume about a day. It's not necessarily a hard stance, but it's their recommendation. So keep that in mind that if you're pretty sensitive to caffeine, trying to keep it around 400 mgs max. But then there are some of us that do push that boundary. I know there's some individuals in our building that exceed probably a lot more than that. So it depends on your tolerance in the end. Regulatory wise, they have had some hard stance on powdered caffeines just because the user error is pretty easy to do if you start messing around with an unknown amount just because you're dealing with milligrams versus grams. A lot of ingredients you're going to see in the gram range. Caffeine is not one of them. You should be getting near that.
Caffeine in the grams. All right, let's get to a couple of questions. We have some good ones already. Anakit from YouTube, are we going to get a birthday cake flavored pre-workout? Wow, that'd be...
I think he's asking that because we have a pre up here.
We have the pre-workout
but
here. Unfortunately, no.
No, that's just really good branding.
That'd be weird.
I mean...
Can we get pre-workout in cake? In birthday cake? Pre-workout cake?
I'm sure that'd
be pretty cool. Unfortunately, no, but you can take pre-workout protein before your workout and also take a pre-workout if you like. That's okay.
There it is.
Give it, and there's confetti inside, so you can be working out with sprinkles. Okay, can I mix pre-workout and BCAAs together from Everyday Motivation? Absolutely, you can. In fact, there are many pre-workouts that already have BCAAs in them, so no problem. Absolutely. Let's see. What ingredients should we be looking for non-stim pre-workouts? Tejas, we'll get there. We're going to get there in just a moment, actually, so stay tuned. What would you say is the big difference between amino acid energy supplement and an actual pre-workout supplement? This is a good one.
Total caffeine content. You're going to see an Amino Energy, a BC Energy, Amino Plus Energy, those products. They're going to have right around probably about 100 to maybe 150 mgs caffeine per serving. So that's so again, like we said earlier, if your tolerance is pretty low for caffeine, maybe try one of those and maybe buy some pump ingredients that we're going to talk about here in a second, some vasodilators, maybe some nootropics. You can get them in the raw ingredient form and then put them with that if you want to make a pre-workout cocktail that way. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing that as well.
Yeah, I'd say that just like Alex said, the complexity of the product is a little lower in the amino energy products. Amino energy is just amino acids and caffeine generally. There are some exceptions to that rule. Pre-workouts, some of them have aminos, some of them have a lot more caffeine. Vasodilators, like you said, muscle building ingredients, nootropics, beta-alanine in significantly greater doses. Just a more complex product that is there to help you enhance your workout, whereas a BCA energy might just be to help you stay awake at your desk at 2 o'clock because it's late in the afternoon. So there is some crossover, but not 100%. Let's see, will taking a pre-workout affect my intermittent fasting? I don't believe so. There's definitely a lot of conversation over whether BCAAs break your fast or not. The argument could be made that BCAAs do supply calories, and so that could potentially break your fast. But I think if you feel like this pre-workout is going to help you enhance your workout and burn more calories and work harder, then anything that you've lost by taking it during that normal fasting period might be overcome by the enhanced workout that you get from it.
And again, pay attention to the product label, actually, what the ingredient profile is. Sometimes there are ingredients in there like green tea and yohimbe that are kind of in a few products out there that may upset your stomach. It's recommended to take with food. So I wouldn't recommend taking anything like that without anything in your stomach. Yeah,
actually that goes directly to Shubham's question, is it good to take a pre-workout on an empty stomach? You can. Nothing in there is going to hurt you, but there are ingredients sometimes like yohimbe, like green tea, and even a lot of caffeine that can hit you really hard if you don't have anything in your stomach there to kind of calm it down. But nothing inherently harmful, so don't worry about it there. If you want to try it, just know that the caffeine especially, it absorbs very quickly and you will feel it very fast, and it might feel stronger than it would otherwise.
And kind of before we get a little further on, we are curious about our viewership in terms of what they actually do take. I know I kind of have my few products I like to bounce around between, but curious, what pre-workout do you take?
Yeah, throw those in chat. That's a good one, guys. What pre-workout do you take? Throw it in there.
And also, if you like to get more detailed, why you like to take that pre-workout.
That'd be cool. All right, let's see. Beta-alanine. All right, so we've talked about beta-alanine here before. Beta-alanine is a really important ingredient that we see in most pre-workouts. I think it's almost unanimous across the board. But the question is why. So beta-alanine is a modified amino acid, alanine. And when you consume it, it mixes with another amino acid within your body called histidine, and those two together make a molecule called carnosine, and that molecule carnosine is actually really good at buffering the lactic acid that we build up when we work really hard. So if you've ever felt that burn during a set of bench press or during squats, that's the lactic acid building up there in the moment, but then the carnosine that you now have more of can help buffer some of that acid, and maybe help you get 1 or 2 extra reps out of it, thus increasing the overall intensity of your workout. The problem with beta-alanine is there are 2, actually. Number 1, if you take it in large doses, you'll feel it, and you'll feel it really hard sometimes. You'll feel it in your hands and in your toes, and especially in your face and in your ears, wherever there's small blood vessels.
It's a good time.
And it can be, for some, it can be a little bit upsetting. We see people sometimes avoid beta-alanine completely because it can be really agitating. But it always goes away. It's not harmful to you, but yeah, sometimes it can make you feel kind of weird. Number 2 is that carnosine is not something that acts immediately. So if I've never had a pre-workout before and I take beta-alanine now and then run straight to the gym, it's not going to do anything for me. It needs to build up in your system a little bit. It needs time to work. And so we have it in pre-workouts because we know that people will take them relatively consistently over a period of weeks or even months. And so over that time, beta-alanine can kind of start to work and you'll see results over time. Kind of like how creatine has to build up in your system, same deal there.
And generally the dose, you'll see, excuse me, sometimes you'll see a product that'll have, like a pre-workout will have 1.6 grams, so it's usually half I would say the kind of clinical dose. And then they'll put in with like a post-workout product, they'll do 1.6 to kind of help you get there. But then there's been some really interesting data in the last year about 6 grams a day?
Yeah, but they use like extended release, so you don't have to feel it all the time.
Weirdos, just do it once.
It's a lot. Anyway, so we have another question. Don't most foods that you consume already contain branched chain amino acids?
Yes.
Yes?
But this is actually a fun question because there was an afternoon where we dug into like what is on a standard product label and kind of to see what the ingredients would apply to food. BCAAs in general, so like we're going to talk about leucine. In, what was it, steak? Wasn't it like 2 pounds of steak?
You gotta eat a lot of steak to get the amount of BCAAs that you need.
Yeah, it was like 32 ounces of steak or red meat to equate to like 3 grams of leucine. So keep that in mind. Yes, there are branched chain amino acids in the actual like consumable food.
Yeah.
However, again, just to reiterate, supplements are there to supplement your diet. If you are happen to be consuming that amount of red meat that allows you to get there, do it to it. But yeah, these exist to make it easier for you.
There you go. Man, yeah, we've got something kind of cool put together just about that. Let's see, I'm looking at questions here. How often should one take pre-workout supplements before the body starts to build a tolerance for it? That's a really good question. We talked a little bit earlier about caffeine and your body becoming sensitized to it a little bit. The answer is it's entirely up to your body. Everyone's very different. There are times where I feel like I'll take a pre-workout that I've been taking for weeks, and then I'll take it today, and it'll feel like I'd never touched it before because it's hitting me really, really hard. And there are times where I'll take the same dose again, and it'll feel like I took nothing. But the answer is you know your body better than everyone else. If you feel like you're taking a pre-workout and it's just not doing anything for you, like stimulant-wise, and you don't feel like you want to take any more caffeine, maybe back off just for a while, 2 or 3 weeks, and let your body kind of readjust. We don't really have a hard and fast rule as far as cycling for pre-workouts because there's no real safety concerns there, as long as you're not going way above and beyond the FDA recommended amount of caffeine for your pre-workout. So that's going to be entirely up to you. But like I said, there's no real hard rule there. Is yohimbine good in a pre-workout? Baxter from YouTube. So this is an interesting question, and it's pretty unique to me. And I kind of get made fun of it in the office. Yohimbine does not sit well with my tummy. It's actually kind of a running joke. I have a really hard time with yohimbine, so I say I don't really enjoy it in pre-workouts. But there are some, like my good friend Alec here, who loves to have it in his pre-workouts and in thermogenic products because it can really get your metabolism going. It can really make you sweat because it's an alpha-2 antagonist, which means it basically keeps your body from getting rid of the epinephrine and the norepinephrine that are getting you pumped. So yes, it can help your pre-workout, it can help you feel more stimulated than normal, but be wary. Yohimbine can have a negative effect on your tummy tum, so be aware that is possible. Like I said, you're not gonna, it's not gonna hurt you, but it may put you on the couch for a little while. So be aware of that one.
And if you're just joining us in the stream today, if you are patient with us, we'll be saying a password at the end with the Survey Monkey. You could win a tub of protein, a box of protein bars, and your choice of 2 items from our $19.99.
I'm really
apparel.
proud of you with all these plugs. Good job. Yeah, that's right. Make sure you stick around. We have the password for 10 stacks of birthday cake stuff and free clothing. So we'll be there. Are BCAAs in gel form adequate as a pre-workout supplement? They are adequate way to get your BCAAs. If you'd like them as a part of a pre-workout supplement, that's fine. BCAAs by themselves are fine to take pre-workout, but they're probably not as comprehensive as something that you can take like a full pre-workout. So there you go. What is the optimal amount of citrulline malate? Alec, do you want to take this one, citrulline and malate and all the nuance there?
It's a good segue into our next topic too. So
Exactly.
So citrulline malate, generally speaking, it's unbeknown, but citrulline malate is citrulline and malic acid kind of mixed together. It's not bonded, it's mixed together. So usually citrulline malate, depending upon the ratio of citrulline to malic acid, you'll see like 2 to 1, you'll see a 3 to 1, 4 to 1. You want to have the highest amount of citrulline you can out of that ratio. Is it worth it? Sure. If you want to add that, just remember that you need to add a little extra if it's a lower ratio.
Right.
But which is a nice segue into our next little bit of ingredient inclusions within pre-workouts are vasodilators. So with this, they are nitric oxide boosters, so that means it helps dilate your blood vessels a little bit, allows better movement, flexion, and for the gram, the pump.
That's right. So nitric oxide is a really important signaling molecule within our bodies. It works in what's called the endothelium, or the walls of your blood vessels, and it signals your body to relax its blood vessels, right? To expand, or not purposefully expand, but relax them to the point where they allow more blood flow through. This is done in a couple different ways. You can take products that contain nitric oxide itself, or any sort of nitrogen-based product like Beta vulgaris. We see beetroot in a lot of things. Beta vulgaris is beetroot, and those supply nitrogen sources for you directly. We also see products that stimulate this process through the arginine cycle. We see people take straight arginine, which can sometimes work, but sometimes not, because your body has enzymes in the digestive tract that physically block it from getting into your system. So sometimes L-arginine doesn't work quite as well. That's why we started using L-citrulline, because L-citrulline fits itself right before arginine in that circular cycle, but your body doesn't have any enzymes that break it down, so that goes directly in there. But then we've also seen new ingredients like nitrosogene, which is a new one we're seeing pop up in a couple of different pre-workouts and vasodilator supplements. The dose is a little bit lower, about 1.5 grams compared to the 5 or 6 that we see in citrulline, and it is a bonded form of arginine. It has an inositol bonded on there. It's blended with a silicate to make it dissolve really well, absorb really well, and work really well, and then it supplies the arginine so that the arginine can go through its circular cycle, and then one of the products of that is nitric oxide itself, which then leads to vasodilation, which is great.
Which is a nice segue to a question that was asked earlier. What do you usually see in non-stim pre-workouts? You see
That right there.
any one of these in a very adequate dosed amount. And then from there, you're also going to see beta-alanine is going to be in there. Some nootropics, which we're going to talk about next, which is more of the mind focus that's non-caffeine. But yeah, you're going to see a lot of amino acids that are based around nitric oxide.
Exactly. A couple more questions. Let's see. Creatine monohydrate seems to cause waterish bloat. Is HCl better? Marias, it can be. If you are having trouble with creatine monohydrate, not everyone does, but if you are, you're definitely welcome to try the other forms. They're all supplying the same thing. They're all supplying creatine. I haven't seen a lot of data as far as a lower dose of one form of creatine allowing for the same effect as a higher dose of another creatine. So we say try and stick with a similar dose. But if you want to try a different form, whether it's HCl or let's see, what's creatine nitrate, we've seen a bunch of different.
Ester.
Oh, the ethyl ester. That's what I was trying to think of. Give them all a shot and see which one treats you the best. Joseph from YouTube, is a cup of coffee a great natural pre-workout? And also from Facebook, is it good to have a cup of espresso if you don't have any supplement with you? Have you ever tried training with just a cup of coffee? So this is kind of related to the question that we had a little earlier. You know, are BCAAs a good pre-workout? This is basically asking, is coffee a good pre-workout? It is okay. It is fine. There is some crossover in the ingredients it's supplying, mostly caffeine, and so you are getting the caffeine part of your pre-workout. It may work in the way that it will give you more energy, but you may also be missing out on some of the benefits of the other ingredients like beta-alanine or citrulline and stuff. So yeah, if that's what you have access to and you want to give it a shot, cool. It may actually help you have feel like you have more energy, be more motivated to go to the gym, do more reps. You just might not be getting some of the ergogenic benefit of some of the other stuff. But good questions. Wow, we had a lot of coffee questions in a row there. That's awesome. Okay, so this moves on to what is kind of like our final category of ingredients. These are called nootropics. As Alec mentioned, these are the ones that they always talk about with the mind-muscle connection. But the main category of ingredients here are ones that are prerequisites for acetylcholine, which is a neurotransmitter in the body. We see choline, we see acetylcholine, and then we see kind of a different category for huperzine, which is acetylcholinesterase inhibitor. That's a big word for saying that it keeps your body from breaking down acetylcholine. But all this is really in the spirit of making sure that your body has more neurotransmitter so that you can think more clearly, your mind-muscle connection is stronger. That means the ability to transmit information from your brain to your muscles to flex, that kind of stuff. So, like I said, alpha-GPC and choline, or alpha-GPC stands for alpha-glyceryl phosphocholene, which is a fun word. It's a molecule like choline that leads to acetylcholine later, and then, like I said, huperzine keeps acetylcholine from breaking down. So we see those in pre-workouts a lot. That's a really good reminder here. Guys, if we're talking about something that we are going over too quickly or may not understand or want to learn more about, please feel free to send us an email at brain.gainz@bodybuilding.com. With a Z, that's right. Brain.gainz@bodybuilding.com. Alec or I would be happy to get back to you to talk a little bit more about these. So, yeah, if you guys have questions about dosing or about what these are or how to spell alpha-glyceryl phosphocholene, happy to send that to you as well.
Just say alpha-GPC.
Alpha-GPC, yeah, we can figure it out. But anyway, those are the kind of things you'll find in pre-workouts. You may find alpha-GPC, huperzine, choline. You may find those in stim-free pre-workouts, because you're not going to feel any sort of stimulation. You're not going to feel an increased heart rate. You're not going to feel vasoconstriction, any of that you would normally feel with caffeine. So those might be worth looking into if you're looking for something that is stim-free. Back to more questions. David, is beet powder and BCAA a good pre-workout? It's a really great start for a stim-free pre-workout. So you're getting a little bit of energy from the BCAAs, you're getting the vasodilation from the beta-vulgaris, so that's good. Let's see. Are there any vegan supplements like BCAAs that you can take for pre-workout?
Yeah.
You can actually get vegan BCAAs. So they make them fermented, which means that they're not coming from a meat source. They're coming from, I think, usually fermented yeast, I think, and I don't believe yeast is considered animal enough to be part of the vegan lifestyle. So there you go.
And there's plenty of vegetable sourced amino acids that could be included into a pre-workout too. And most of the ingredients we've talked about are botanicals anyway. So that means that would be plant-based. So it would be able to do that. Just if you have a product that you're interested about that's borderline, don't be afraid to reach out to us via email or even our customer service team. They'd be more than happy to answer that for you.
That's right. Let's see. Why do pre-workouts work better on an empty stomach? Cray, that's because you don't have anything else in there to block the absorption. They go straight in. There's literally nothing to stop them from going directly into your blood, which means they work very quickly. Doesn't mean you're getting any more or less of the ingredients, you're just getting them faster. So it feels like they're stronger. Let's see. How do pre-workouts affect you if you're on a keto diet? Generally, pre-workouts don't have any carbs, so they shouldn't get in the middle of any of those cycles at all. So go for it. Is Amino Energy good enough for a pre-workout, Peyton? Like we talked about a little before, it's fine. It's probably not as effective as a pre-workout, but you're welcome to give it a shot if you'd like to try what it feels like or tastes like to take a product that has a little bit of caffeine. Pre-workouts are generally stronger, but go ahead. Anyway, guys, we have got to the part where we want to officially do the giveaway. Thank you, everyone who's been sticking around, waiting patiently. Remember, if you want to get a chance at 2 pounds of birthday cake protein, a full box of birthday cake bars, and your choice of 2 of the products of the $19.99 gear wearing here, please feel free to follow the link that is either in the description below, in the comments, thanks to our wonderful moderators, and then you will need a password. What is that password? It's going to show up on the screen right in front of us. It is, BBCom B-Day. There it is, BBCom B-Day. All lowercase, no spaces, no numbers, BBCom B-Day, type that in. You'll be able to fill out that survey and then enter to win. And there will be 10 stacks given away. We will be getting to the winners over the next couple of days, I believe.
And it closes at, on Friday or, Friday?
Is it Friday night? We'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah, we'll pick the winners next week. And the winners will be announced. We'll do another little kind of video like we did 2 giveaways ago. Yep. And if you won, you're going to get an email from me.
There you go. Yeah, so, yeah. All right. So before we sign off for the day, we have a couple of new products and flavors that we wanted to talk about. So here we go. New products coming up on Bodybuilding.com. We're really excited to have RX Bar Real Food Protein Bars. So if you've seen those protein bars that have like the actual foods that they're made of listed out on the front, we have those. We also have the RX Bar Nut Butters. Animal Energy is here. GAT Nitroflex Burn. Vital Proteins is joining us with collagen peptides, beef liver caps, collagen creamers, matcha collagen, collagen whey, beauty collagen and bone broth collagen. A lot of collagen from the Vital Proteins, guys. Awesome. Magnum Nutraceuticals is joining us as well, and then obviously the BBCom 1999 gear, and also if you guys remember from last month, Revel is also available on site if you want to check them out. The new women's focus line is there as well. New flavors, let's see, Animal Packs powder now has a green apple.
Green app.
Primeval Labs is also coming soon with the Intracell 7 Black Rainbow Sherbet, Gummy Bear, and Orange Sherbet, and All Max Nutrition Impact Pump is coming in unflavored, pineapple mango, and blue raspberry. Guys, if you want the links to any of those are also available in the description. They're also potentially being posted in chat there. Wonderful moderators. You guys are great. And then, yeah, I think that's it.
A couple things before we do that. Remember, password is bbcombirthday, lowercase.
Do it.
Secondly, right now we've got a sale that ends tonight that some things are up to 70% off on the site. So if you want to re-up on your subs, today'd be a pretty good day to do it.
That's right. Anyway, guys, that's it for us. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you next month on Brain Gainz. Until then, keep on lifting.